Hello. So today I will be rambling and looking at my most highly anticipated indie game coming up in the next few years. That being Nexomon 3. We will look at the Steam page in detail, some stuff from the Discord, but if you don't know what Nexomon is, first off, how did you find this video? Secondly, it's a Pokemon-like, or a monster tamer. Its main standout feature compared to others in the genre is its writing, focus on comedy mainly. Uh, Having a good overarching story in the grand scheme of things in a genre that I would say is known to critically fail in that department. Now, before I jump from my scripted dialogue to my unscripted fanboying, let's go over some basic history regarding Nexomon 3. Nexomon 3 was actually announced the exact launch date of Nexomon 2, Nexomon Extinction, with the ending dialogue simply saying, "Thank you for playing our game. We hope to see you again in the sequel." This got a lot of fans such as myself very excited, but as standard with the slow war game development, we wouldn't hear anything until almost a year and a half later, when Nexomon Extinction got its last DLC update, the Abyssals. This entire update was dedicated to foreshadowing the next game and vaguely introducing the next game's villain. This DLC will be mentioned a few times. I would try to explain everything as needed, but it's best if you've played it or watched it before watching this. Shortly after the Abyssals update went live, we had what I can only imagine to be the next game's battle scene posted to YouTube. And yes, it was a banger. A feature or two on Nexomon 3 were shortly discussed, but it wasn't long before we went back to radio silence. But on June 13th of 2023, there was randomly the biggest announcement you could imagine as a fan of this franchise. A full-blown Steam page, short visual trailer, and the developer shortly answering questions and talking about features of the game. But enough with the scripted shit, let's take a look at that Steam page ourselves now. Okay, so this is the Steam page, and right off the bat you can tell this is gonna be huge. The up-and-coming third entry of the Nexomon series, featuring a large story-rich 3D open world. So open world isn't huge. The last game was pretty much open world, but my god, they're going 3D now. And we have a new battle system, whatever that means. We'll see what it is. Let's just look at this trailer. Chapter 3. So I've seen this before, obviously, but okay, so there's been some comment about this. This is like a home screen, okay? So this isn't like the actual scale of the world, but we can see a few things. First off, there's a fucking trainway, and 1 city, 2 cities, 3 city. We have a statue of Noah, which is a child of Omnicron, the main one that was featured. Well, not the main one. Spoilers, but not the main one. So we have Noah, we have this girl, who knows who she is. But one thing that interests me a lot is over here, as you can see. And what interests me about this just looks like a villain slayer to me. Right? Like, the teeth, the ground structures, the kind of futuristic dome. We also have some witchlands in the background, and this doesn't look the prettiest. This trailer doesn't look the prettiest, but the screenshots are much prettier. So we'll see. This is all in work in progress, so I imagine this won't be the final development screen, but it's a preview. Which is one thing just to remember, this all is just a preview. Yeah, there are a few Nexomon in the background. But you can see the models, they are pretty. I would say they're better than Pokemon. There's wannabe Groudon back there. Oh, is this wannabe Groudon, or is that... This one is just straight up Groudon. This one's trying to be Groudon. Yeah, I think this is the whole trailer, is just this. So we can see, there's like some... Oh, what's this? I haven't seen this. There's some pyramid fuckers right there. This is way too loud. Like, okay, that... Do I have to turn this down? I probably have to turn this down. We'll see. We'll see. I'll check the volume mid-sync shortly after. The clouds are interesting. Anyways, that's enough of this. Let me make sure I didn't destroy the volume of this video. Okay, the volume was fucked, but I'm not gonna refilm it. Oh, come on, it's sliding. Okay, and then my dog started barking, so I couldn't just use the footage before. Whatever, we're looking at this thing now. So, we have mounts, is the main thing this is showing, obviously. Since I can't imagine you showing anything else. I believe the developer briefly mentioned the mount, so I'm just gonna roll with it and assume that's what this is showing off. The visuals look good, almost Genshin-like, Genshin Impact, which is very good. We have a few monsters being shown here, mainly these three. So we have Short Evolution Chain, this Derpy Astrula, and this Owl. I really like these two. I like this guy because he's stupid, and I like these just because they're cool. So we have chests in the water, so there's gonna be loot around the world we can pick up. At least I imagine, since chests are a reoccurring theme in these photos. But I imagine you have to fly out to some of them on mounts, is what this looks like to me. Like, I can't... Like, that's the image this thing seems to be presenting to me, is this guy's flying out to that chest on the mount. Like, that's what this looks like. So, let's go to the next photo. Okay, so... This looks like just a render, but I also don't think it is. Like, this looks like a cinematic render, right? But if it is, it's a very bad one. So I'm wondering, is this in-game? But there's a massive quality drop from this image from the last one. Like, and the main thing is the drop is the ground. Like, the ground looks straight out of PS2. Which is, like, I don't want to say concerning, since this is very clearly in-progress footage and pictures, and, like, clearly not the final result. But, I wonder why this got past, like, the thing. As for the actual development, or the actual models, they look very cool. Like, I like this thing a lot. I don't know why, but I'm not a huge fan of this. Not a huge fan of this. This is just very basic. This just looks kind of weird. But I like this a lot. Like, it gives kind of sci-fi vibes and not at the same time for me. I don't know why. There's nothing really too important in this picture. Let's move to the next one. Okay. Yes. This is what I wanted to look at. So, the witch. So, what the fuck is her name? Okay. I am Googling right now. What is her Nexomon 2 wiki? Come on, surely there's a Wikipedia for... Is there a... Why is this Wikipedia so ass? Why... I mean, I know it's a fandom wiki, so technically it's always gonna be ass. You gotta be kidding. Okay, so, if you've played the game, you know what I'm talking about. This is the witch. Whether or not it's the one from Nexomon 2 or Nexomon 1, who knows? I'm leaning towards Nexomon 2. Like, this looks like just an older design of the Nexomon 2 witch. And then we have this girl, who I imagine would be this game's witch. Are they actually called witches, or, like, what are they called? Like, what are they called? Like, I don't think the term is witch. Sorcerers. Okay, I found it. They are called sorcerers. I'm butchering that word. Yeah, so they're sorcerers. I imagine she is the next sorcerer. I cannot say that. I think her design is really bland, if I'm being honest. Like, compared to these guys, right? These guys have very striking designs. I think she's just a lot more boring. And maybe it's just this picture isn't doing her justice, but I think this model is very bland. Once again, this looks like an environment is also kind of pretty bland, but I imagine it'll look better with time. Um, yeah, so that's really all this is. Um, but this does look like it confirms the fact that the witch has died. Oh my god, it's a sorcerer. Why am I calling them witches? It looks like she is dead. You don't build statues of alive people most of the time, so she is probably dead. Maybe Chroma finally got her. You know, who knows what the story is behind that, but it looks like the witches we were used to seeing have probably finally fallen after Nexomon Abyssos DLC when we learned they were being hunted. Let's look at next. Okay. I am excited for this picture. This picture shows two characters, and this is why I think this is a temporary model. Because you can see this character has much more Genshin-like quality to her. Like, her hair isn't in individual strands like this is. You can see the individual strands here, not here. So I imagine that's why there's a quality difference. Since this is also one of the main characters, this is one of the core four characters of the cast, which you can see here. So my puppy is annoying me. Hold on. He needs to cut outside. 1 second. Okay, so this girl is, first off, I love her outfit. I love her design. She reminds me of Amber from Genshin Impact, while still being distinctly her own thing, which I really like. Like, I love the little tails on the boots, you know, the little bows on the boots. I like the oversized backpack. I love the mixed leggings. I think they look great. Like, it's just a very good design. We have this person back there, which I believe is the main character. Yeah, I believe that's the main character. I believe the blue person is the main character. So, and then we have this giant mining wig, which is something I didn't mention in the overarching photo. But you can see this has a very interesting. Sorry, I won't flick the volume again. This has a very interesting environment because it's very medieval while having modern technology. And and as we saw with Nexomon Extinction, they already had pretty advanced technology while being but were pretty unable to go full sci-fi because of the war going on. Like they were constantly losing their resources, which you know is why it looked less modern. But it seems like now the war has stopped, yet it hasn't turned into like a full sci-fi world, which I find interesting. It's actually very medieval with modern technology, which I really wonder if it's gonna be just modern technology or if it's gonna have like sci-fi elements. Because the games have always had some sci-fi elements with what's the fucker's name? The little robot dude. The little robot dude. He's always been there and he's always had sci-fi elements to them. So I really wonder if you're gonna see that. Another thing, speaking of the little robot dude, we are not seeing any cats, talking cats. We're all seeing very normal people. Like, no quirky robots, no weird cats, no weird talking dogs. It's all very grounded, in a way, which I imagine just comes with the 3D environment. They're going for something more realistic. Uh, yeah. But also, you can see there's a huge skeleton here, which I'm sure is going to have some significance in game. Like, since skeletons have, like, at least last game, the skeletons had a lot of significance long term with the Abyssos. Um, but yeah, anyways, I've rambled. I'm gonna cut this before I ruin it. So, I'll see you in a second. Okay. So, this looks like some gameplay footage. At least that's what I imagine from the camera. once again, we have another Nexomon here, and he looks amazing. Like, I love this design. But you can see another chest. Another chest, another Nexomon, but we have following Nexomon, which is something I know these kind of games, these kind of gamers love to have following Pokemon in their parties, right? Um, so it's great to see that this is being added. There were some talks about whether or not you could give them hats in the Discord, which I have no clue if that's actually going to happen or not. But it'd be amazing if it did. We have wannabe Groudon here, so you can see he's going full on Groudon right now. Like he's on the cliff, the light's shining down on him. It's fucking hilarious. He actually looks like the same one that was in the water, so I think I was right on that. We have the village in the background once again. You can see it's very fantasy and not like it's very weird since Nexomon was very modern in its building style. Like the technology was modern, and it makes me wonder why are we going backwards? Because this is in the future, and yes, like I'm fairly confident in saying it's in the future because of the Abyssos DLC. In which there is a quote specifically. Let me find it. Where is it? The quote is quite simple. The DLC mentioned how this place won't be relevant now, and it won't be relevant in 100,000 years. So odds are it's taking place 100,000 years in the future, right? So that begs the question: why is it in 100,000 years? Like we've gone backwards, and why aren't we more advanced? Why aren't we more fantasy? Why aren't we more sci-fi? And why aren't we more fantasy instead? Okay, so. And this is the screenshot of the actual image, and which is why I don't know why they couldn't render out something like this for the video, just like get this moving, since this looks so much better. But you can see the character model looks amazing. Like she looks great. Like to leave it at this, we have seen pictures of 3 of the character models, since we see this boy, the guy you play as, the wannabe Amber, and I don't know, who should we call this? Is it bad the first word that popped in my head when thinking of the stupid name was just hot chick? Like, gonna get cancelled on Twitter for that, but that was the first joke that came into my head. But you can see she just looks amazing. Like the shading on her hair, like it just looks great. The character design is really striking. It makes me really hope they overhaul this girl, because she is clearly stand out in a poor model compared to the rest of the cast. Yeah, but this just looks amazing. We've already talked a fair bit about this scene, or since this is a villain base. This also looks like the mining drills facility over there. Fantasy environment trains. So we got modern. I don't really think there's much more to talk about, since we already know who this is. This is Noah, one of the children of Omnitron, which also means the children of Omnitron are dead. So it looks like, well, there were statues of Omnitron's children in the game when they were alive. So I'm guessing Omnitron's children, well, no, I can actually reassure you Omnitron's children are most likely dead, because the developer, when asked, just put a scroll emoji when responding on if they are alive. So, between the statue and the developer joking around, Omnitron's children are probably dead. So, yeah. Anyways, enough browsing the pictures. Let's look at the Steam description. Okay. Travel into a timeless hunt. And once again, you can see the pre-rendered pictures look amazing. I really love what they are doing with the Strybots. Like, the Strybots in all of these, even this one where, like, I think that's kind of shitty rendered, but the Strybots just looks amazing in all of these. Like, they look stunning. Whoever did the work on the Strybots, like, well done. This picture is a specific standout. Hold on. I just realized something very peculiar about this picture, since obviously there's the standout, the sorcerer is dead, right? But there's an explosion-like thing going on back here. Like, is that just me? That looks very distinctly like an explosion. You know, the mushroom cloud coming up. Since that's clearly not a tree. Since all the trees are dead here, that would stand out. Okay, enough reading. So clearly there's like some magical explosion shit going on here. But seers, clairvoyants, orators, a bloodline grown sin over hundreds of generations by what was once thought to be a curse cast upon its unnatural ancestry, is now revealed to be a systematic carnage by an unknown foe. What begins a mere tale of their prodigy's survival soon unfold into a calamity that beckons towards past, present, and future and eons to come. Okay. So, basically, this is what I said. The sorcerers have been being hunted out. And we see this actually once again in Nexomon Extinction Abyssalis. We see this again in Nexomon Extinction Abyssalis. Where is the exact quote? I have it pulled up on the side, so. Yes, so basically, Chroma, who is the Abyssal of Ghost, Chroma is the Ghost Abyssal, and she killed one of the witches, one of the sorcerers of the first game. Shortly after, Chroma invaded the Immortal Citadel and tried to kill the witch of the second game, and failed due to Muscle Dude killing them. At Xander's? I think it was at Xander's that killed them. But when talking about it, there's a short scene, and this basically just confirms it even more clearly, since I've seen some confusion, like people maybe thinking includes Children of Omnicron, but I really doubt it. Are you implying sorcerers are being systematically eliminated is spoken by the guild leader, the guild admin. So it's very clearly about sorcerers. I don't think there's any like Children of Omnicron shit going on here. Okay, next. Scroll down. Nexomon 3 unveils a colossal, vibrant 3D open world, immersing players in a massive playground, explore breathtaking Aurelian continent teeming with hundreds of unique Nexomons you can capture on engaging trainers of all calibers, innovative combat system, intricate quest, unveil the ignorant ego that confounded generations of tamers. I have butchered that so badly. I don't think I said more than one sentence properly. Okay. So there's a few things that's going on here. And that is, let's focus with the obvious one. Hundreds of unique Nexomon to capture. Nexomon has always been very large in its cast, right? But I really thought that once they went 3D, they would tone it down. But hundreds implies we get at least 200, right? So I'm really wondering, how are they going to pull that off? Since, like, Pokemon has a hard time pulling it off, right? They cut their Pokedex because they couldn't do it. So I really wonder how they plan on getting away with this. Like, it wouldn't surprise me to see it scaled down, eventually. Once again, we see the mount flying, and this is what gives me hope that long-term this is going to look far better than what we see up here. Because these pictures look great. They've already said they want graphic settings to be insane. Like, you can run it on anything from a PS5 to a phone in terms of settings, is like the terms they were using. Which wouldn't surprise me if they are trying to make a phone game and have PC support like Genshin Impact. Because they are a mobile company at their heart, that's where they started. So this might have some mobile shit. We'll see. I really hope if they go mobile, they don't play gacha. That's all I hope, is this doesn't turn into a gacha game, since that would really kill it for me. Like, I am so excited for this. If they take the Genshin route head on and turn into gacha, I will be severely disappointed. like severely. Like I don't mind I don't mind playing like $60. Hell, if this game is fantastic, I'll charge $70 upfront. I'll buy whatever DLC you put out. But that level of microtransactions in a single player game, I just can't deal with. Uh, anyways, Undertale Infinite Quest and unveil the Id Matters entry. So they say Infinite Quest, which makes me hope for a better questing system than that Nexomon Extinction. That's all I can hope for. Nexomon Extinction is really just fetch quest after fetch quest. There are very few fun ones. Like there is the old man delivering mail. Like that's a standout fun one. But there aren't many of them. There aren't many that just are great quest lines. They feel like fetch quests, they feel like chores. I hope that's not the case here. Unveil the enigmatic evil that has confounded generations of tamers, which this makes me excited. Because one thing I like about Nexomon is it feels like it has scale, right? Like, it feels like, hey, this is a world with a long story. And sure, the story, if you play games A's through B's through C, sure, it's not as flawlessly consistent. But Nexomon Extinction feels like it was a story throughout time. Like, hey, this guy killed Omnicron and he created a future that destroyed, like, millions. Right? It feels spaced out, it feels grand, it's not like, hey, the world started ending 2 weeks ago and you need 1 week to save it, right? It's not like, it's not short scale. It feels like it's happened for ages. And this game really seems to be set up to do the same at a larger, grander scale after what we saw from the Abyssals. And I am very excited for that. So let's look at the next one. Okay, the final one before I can start rambling my own stuff. Nexomon delivers an unforgettable story-driven experience with a carefully crafted cinematic narrative that encompasses otherworldly adventures, or adversaries' challenging decisions, and the diverse cast that shapes every word of Netsomon's world. The relentless wheel of fate trembles. What cruel secrets lie beyond its wounds? We will be talking about this part a little more. Now, there's a few things here that I want to talk about before we get into just my rambling. And that is story-driven experience with a carefully crafted cinematic narrative. Cinematic is what stands out to me, because I really wonder how they're going to do it, is my thing. Cinematic usually implies animations, like, I think animations, CGI, and that doesn't seem to be, I wouldn't expect that to be in the budget for an indie studio, since it always sounds like they are thinking about voice acting, but they're worried it won't be in the budget, is the general impression I get. Like, they've talked about voice acting on the Discord a fair bit. It's questionable whether or not it will happen. But animations seem kind of bland. And one thing I always liked about Nexomon was the visual novel aspect of it. It felt like you were playing a visual novel in ways. Like, and I know that's not for everyone, but I personally love that aesthetic. Like, I think it just adds to it to me. It's a unique feel. I like it. So we'll see. I don't know if they'll have, like, that kind of thing. But, like, the hand-drawn cinematic area where it's, like, the Abyssals have, like, great ones where it's introducing all of the Abyssals in this grand way with this drawn-out, carefully crafted scene. I love it. I hope they have something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if they scrap it. It's not the most mainstream. But we'll see. Challenging decisions makes me wonder, right? Is this gonna be a game with multiple endings? Because that's what that implies to me, right? Like, maybe I'm overthinking this, maybe I'm looking too hard into it, But when I hear challenging decisions on your Steam page, I think you have multiple endings. That's just where my gut goes. So this makes me believe we have a game that has a bad ending, a good ending, maybe something in between. Like, who knows? But that's my prediction. We'll go into a few more of my predictions in a minute. But yeah, that's what that stands out as to me. Let's look at some other stuff. So I'll be right back once I get my script together and my notes, and we'll go into more. Okay. So, this is what stands out to me the most. And this is pure theory crafting, but I have an idea. As the relentless wheel of fate crumbles, what cruel secrets lie beyond its wings? Now, to a lot of people, wheel of fate is a saying, something you glance over, right? But what if it wasn't? What if the wheel of fate wasn't being used as a saying here, but is rather going to be a plot device, a thing of importance in this game's story? And I have two reasons I believe this. Now, first off, this I think is the most damning part of why I believe this is an actual plot device, a thing of importance, whether it's a location, an actual wheel, but why I think this. And it's capitalized. That's really, I think that's the most damning proof, is genuinely just the fact it's capitalized. Since that's like a name, right? You don't capitalize stuff that isn't a name. So why is it capitalized if it's being used as a saying? But there's one other thing that makes me think the Wheel of Fate is significant and not being used as just a saying. And that is Nexomon Extinction Abyssals. Yep, that's right. So let's see if I can pull it up without... Okay, so Nexomon Extinction Abyssals starts off with a very peculiar tyrant waking up from the ashes. And I believe he says, let me pull on... Yes. So he mentions, once you awaken, the Wheel of Fate turns once more. The Wheel of Fate screeches on my wake. So, which, by the way, is just an amazing line. Like, amazing dialogue. Well done, whoever wrote that. I love it. But to me, you have the Wheel of Fate is mentioned twice in the DLC. That's foreshadowing this thing. Matter of fact, it's the first thing mentioned in the DLC. And then the Steam page drops, and it's capitalizing the Wheel of Fate like it's a name. Surely, maybe I'm overthinking it, maybe I'm just overanalyzing, but to me, it makes me wonder, is this significant? Right? Are we gonna see more? Is this gonna be some sort of location, plot device? What are we getting out of this? Anyways, more random shit coming up in a second. I'll be right back. Okay. So this is actually hard to talk about and have good background footage for, because, believe it or not, one of the most important things about the Abyssals DLC, the biggest unanswered question, does not have a single appearance in this page. Which is bizarre to me. Not surprising, because I'm guessing it's of significance and you want to hide it, but it's interesting nonetheless. So what am I referring to? Well, I'm referring to purple crystals. I cannot speak. What? Purple crystals. There we go. Well, are they purple or pink? They're kinda in between. Now, we see basically two types of Nexomon all throughout Nexomon Extinction. Natural Nexomon and artificial. So, natural like the children of Omicron, artificial like Vados. Now, there's one thing peculiar about every Abyssal Tyrant. They have a purple gem. Nowhere is this as apparent as it is with Brachious. because he's holding out the item like he wants you to see the damn thing. Like, he could not make it any more apparent this is of importance. Now, the funny thing is, there's one weird thing about the other tyrants you see, the abyssal tyrants, you see all throughout Nexomon Extinction. And that is this muted? Oh, okay. I won't blast your ears, thank God. And that is, they argue a lot whether or not they are natural Nexomon or artificial Nexomon. For one simple reason, they disobey the king or queen, depending on your gender, of the game. So, they will disobey their queen, and the queen is supposed to have complete control over the wild Nexomon. They should serve them. Now, the interesting thing is the queen can temporarily control the wild Nexomon until whatever is controlling them takes control and revokes it. This is particularly apparent in the scene with what the fuck is his name? This is why it would be useful to have a good wiki. Okay, hold on. Can I pull? Come on. Do you not have a database? There is really no database on the wiki. This is a shit ass wiki. This is a fucking. Okay, hold on. I would get the name. If I am gonna fanboy, I will fanboy with the name. You won't stop me. Won't stop me. I will find it. Okay. You gotta be kidding me. Does this not? Okay, this isn't up to date. My god, this is the problem of being fans with random indie bullshit. You. Okay. I found the database. Nowhere is it more apparent this weird back and forth of power, of who controls what Nexomon, is it with Rotramus? The weird forest Nexomon, in which he is covered in purple gems, and yet still randomly lets himself be taken control over by the queen, only for that control to be revoked instantly afterwards by whoever else is there. And someone is supposedly there watching them. Which, God knows what that means. Does that mean the villain is going to be a part of the last game and we will recognize them? Who knows? Shapeshifting is a thing, so for all we know, they might as well be. But this back and forth between power of the purple crystals and the natural Nexomon goes on for ages, and I am expecting this to be the next significant plot device in this story. I think we're going to see two massive plot devices of significance, and I'm guessing that's the Wheel of Fate and these purple crystals. I'm guessing those are going to be two major story points in this story. That sounded stupid, but I'm guessing these are two major points we're going to see, is the Wheel of Fate and these purple gems. How likely am I going to be right? I would say probably pretty low because I'm an idiot. But we will see. I hope I am on to something. Is there anything else? We'll see. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Okay. So there is actually a fair bit more, and that's all on the Discord. We're mainly talking about gameplay, such as equipment systems, since there will be an equipment system, status effects, and typing. Since this game has a typing system unlike that of almost any other game I've seen, I'm really interested to see how it plays out. And, just some more in-depth stuff gameplay-wise. We can also see just a little more confirmation that this is very far in development. Like, Nexomon 3 is not the official title of this game. This is all supposed to be like, hey, we're here working on this, right? This isn't supposed to be I don't want to say the big announcement, but it's, there's no date yet. There's no date, there's no name, like, we don't have the name of the project. Like, this is very clearly work in progress still, and that's basically what I'm getting at. So, there is some more interesting stuff about the gameplay we could look at, but that I think is just for another time. This is already getting way too long. I have been working on this for way too long as well, so we can look at that another time if there's interest. But in the meantime, I think this was just fun looking over something I'm excited for. I'll probably do something with a little more mainstream appeal next time, since I kind of doubt this video's gonna have any views, but we'll see. I'm happy this is the first video I've worked on. I'm very happy. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.